Hey everybody, this is Rykard here again, and today I'm bringing you the next episode of my grab bag series that I started a couple days ago. As always, this video will feature 6 different Pokemon and basically be a little bit of an educational thing to try and show you guys some new ways to use them, or just pretty much teach you something that you may have not known before, and give you something to maybe try out in your future battles. But today we're going to be starting off with a Persian set that I came up with a couple days ago, and this set will feature one of the new moves that it gets this generation, which is Hone Claws. And Hone Claws is excellent on Persian for a number of reasons, but the main one is that it increases its attack, which is not that great. Being only 239 with max attack and a Jolly Nature means that it still won't be doing a hefty amount of damage to a lot of things. However, with Hone Claws boosting that, you will actually be able to do some significant damage with Persian. The other effect of Hone Claws on the set is that it does increase its accuracy, which, as you can see as its last move being Hypnosis, will allow you to hit that move more often and thus allow you to successfully put something to sleep that you may have had to rely on a little bit of more shaky accuracy before. Hypnosis only has 60 accuracy, so with one Hone Claws boost, it'll be boosted up to around 80% accuracy, and with 2 Hone Claws boosts, you will basically have a 100% accurate sleep move, which is excellent. And now this is really good because if you can get your opponent to sleep, you could potentially set up even more Hone Claws boosts on your Persian, increasing your attack and accuracy even more. Now, the main move to use with this set will be Return as your primary normal type stab option, and this move will be very powerful no matter what. There is potentially the option of going with Fury Swipes, and I know that seems really weird, but Fury Swipes actually could potentially be more powerful than Return if you get all 5 hits with the Technician ability. But that isn't really something I would prefer to rely on, so going with Return is probably your safest bet. Now for your last attacking move, there are actually a few options you can go with. I personally prefer Bite, because Bite is a 60 base power dark type physical move increased by Technician, making it 90 base power, and it also has that 30% chance to flinch. It gives you some pretty good type coverage, allowing you to pretty much hit everything but steel types, but the main reason is that it can allow you to hit those ghost types that will normally resist your return for super effective damage. Other than Bite though, you could actually potentially go with Punishment. And now Punishment is really good because, as you can see, if I leave it over here, it has a 60 base power dark type move, the same as Bite, so it will be boosted by Technician. However, it also has the added effect of being able to do and be boosted by even more damage if your opponent is acquiring stat boosts. So, for example, it increases by 20 attack or 20 base power for every stat boost your opponent has, so there will be that little gray area where Bite will be doing more than Punishment if your opponent just has 1 stat boost, because it'll be boosted to 80 as opposed to Bite being 90. But if your opponent, say, is using like Calm Minds or something like that, Punishment will be able to do a hefty amount of damage and therefore punish the opponent for trying to set up on you. So that is another option. Also, you could potentially use Iron Tail, which is now a steel type move, which will allow you to hit those rock types that resist your return for super effective damage. And that can actually be really useful with Hone Claws because Iron Tail's accuracy is only 75. So with the where is it? There it is. So with the Hone Claws boost, you'll pretty much be hitting all the time with that. Now, if you are using Iron Tail, though, I would switch your ability from Technician to Limber to allow you to resist Paralysis. You cannot run Unnerve because, as you see, actually you can run Unnerve with this. Sorry, it's the next move that you cannot run Unnerve with. But I would just prefer Limber to resist the Paralysis. But also, as an added option, you could run Seed Bomb, which could, ooh, I don't know why I did that. You could run Seed Bomb over Iron Tail to give you the coverage of Rock as well, and a few other things. And since this will not be being boosted by Technician, you can only use Limber, because as you can see for Unnerve, it's a 4th gen move, so you cannot run Seed Bomb and Hypnosis together. But overall, this has some pretty okay coverage, does really bad against steel types, but that's just one of the drawbacks of this set. Persian never did good against steel types anyways, so this really wouldn't be anything new to you guys. But moving on, we're going to be using showing you another Pokemon that can benefit from Hone Claws significantly, which is actually Gabite. Now, Garchomp is an Uber poke, so you can only use that in the Uber tier. However, Gabite is NU, so you can actually run this thing in pretty much all the other tiers. And the reason why Gabite benefits from Hone Claws is because it can actually increase the accuracy of two moves that normally are pretty shaky when you're using them, mainly Dragon Rush. Now, Dragon Rush is probably one of the most least used Dragon type moves, mainly because Outrage is more powerful and Dragon Claw or Dual Chop are more accurate. However, Dragon Rush being 75 base accuracy will significantly benefit from Hone Claws, allowing you to pretty much hit with it all the time. And it also, because it is stronger than Dragon Claw, you'll be able to do more damage, but because it isn't Outrage, I should say, you can actually switch up moves while still having a very powerful Dragon type move. Also, the Hone Claws will be boosting your accuracy of Stone Edge, which will, round out your coverage and pretty much give you some excellent coverage along with Earthquake. Now, Gabite is not the fastest thing in the world, so I actually put a Slack Berry as its item. I feel like this benefits it the most to allow it to get that speed boost to allow it to obviously, outspeed everything. But alternate options could potentially be the Eviolite item. Even though it won't be boosting Gabite's defenses significantly, it could potentially allow it to survive some more attacks that it normally would be able to. But I personally prefer Slackberry. I know it isn't released yet, technically, but it will be eventually, and I think Pokemon Online allows you to use it. Anyways, but overall this is actually a pretty solid physical attacking set and allows you to use Gabite very well and make use of Dragon Rush and Stone Edge in a more accurate manner than you would have been able to previously. Up next we have a Cradily, and this is actually another Pokemon like a few others that I've done in the previous episode that make heavy use of their Dream World ability. And now Cradily gets Storm Drain in the Dream World, which is excellent because it not only gives it an immunity to water type moves, but it also increases its special attack every time it's hit by a water type move. So if you can switch in Cradily on something using, a water type move, this would actually allow you to get a special attack boost, thus increasing your already pretty good special attack even more, and allowing you to use this set even more effectively. The Life Orb on the set is used because it allows you to do even more special attacking damage. Cradily isn't normally seen as an attacker, it's more of like a wall type Pokemon, so any boost that it can get to its attack would be very beneficial. But the other part of this set is that it also can increase its speed significantly with Rock Polish, thus increasing its 184 speed to 368, which will allow you to outspeed a ton of things. And also to round off this set, you have Ancient Power. Cradily does not get Power Gem, which is really stupid because it's one of the few rock types that can actually attack from the special side. But Ancient Power will work just as well, and it can also potentially get you that those crazy stat boosts that it has a 10% chance of doing, as you can see. But to round off again, the last move will be a Hidden Power. I prefer Fire, just because it'll allow you to hit those steel types and a couple of other things that this set doesn't really allow you to do a bunch of damage to. But Ground is also an equally valid option. It'll also, give you that steel type coverage. So it's really up to you, whichever one you want to use. Personally, this set is actually really good, and because of having Giga Drain, you can actually recover up a lot of the damage you might be losing from Life Orb while still getting that boost. You could also potentially use Energy Ball and Grass Knot as you see here, but they won't be as powerful. Actually, why would you use Hidden Power Ground? Oh, you can't use Earth Power because it's a 4th gen move. Never mind, excuse what I said. So yeah, this set is actually a pretty good special version of Cradily. You can potentially do the same thing on the physical side with Rock Polish, but because you won't get that extra immunity or special attack boost from Storm Drain, I don't see it as being too significant to show. But up next we have a Watchhog, and I've had a ton of fun using this set. It's really funny when it works, and it actually works a lot more often than you might think it will. Basically, it's a Parafusion flinching set. And by that, I mean basically you are using paralysis in the form of Thunder Wave, confusion in the form of Confuse Ray, and also potentially flinching them with Hyper Fang. Hyper Fang only has a 20% chance to flinch, unlike some other flinching moves, but excuse me. Actually, it doesn't say, but it is a 20% chance to flinch. But it is like a stab move, and it will be pretty reliable. But basically, this set is meant to pretty much cripple anything that wants to come in on this Watchog. You can sub on the switch or Confuse Ray on the switch if something wants to come in, and then potentially get a sub while your opponent is paralyzed or hitting itself in confusion, and then proceed to cripple it even more with one of the other support moves, and then trying to flinch it so it basically has 0 chance of hitting you, which is freaking awesome, and one of the only possible useful ways of using a Watchog, because this thing really is not that good. But I personally think this actually works out really well. Basically, max HP almost with mixed defenses. They're pretty much split to allow you to at least take something from either side. And then using an adamant nature to increase your physical attack to allow you to do some more Hyper Fang damage. Leftovers is excellent on the set because if your opponent is incapacitated by any of those moves, you'll just be gaining free HP, which is awesome. And then Kenai is really the only ability you can run with it. Analytic doesn't help you out too much because with paralysis you'll be faster than anything, and that ability isn't released yet. But up next, continuing, I guess our third normal type for this video, is a physical attacking Miltank that makes use of its new Dreamworld ability as well, which is Sap Sipper, and I love Sap Sipper. It's excellent. A lot of people don't expect it on the majority of Pokemon that get it, and it's awesome because it makes you immune to things like Spore and Sleep Powder, which your opponent would be using to try to put you asleep, as well as a lot of Grass-type Pokemon in general, because Grass types don't generally learn that many attacking moves outside of maybe grass and poison type moves. So this can potentially allow you to freely switch in on any grass type and get a boost from Sap Sipper and do damage with it. Now this is another Life Orb set, just to give you that extra power, because Miltank, as you can see, without a Sap Sipper boost will not be doing that much. And also because Miltank gets Milk Drink, it can be used to recover the HP lost from Life Orb. Now this is a kind of weird like para-flinching set as well as the Watchhog set you just saw, but it works a little bit differently. Body Slam is there over Return. Return is more powerful, but Body Slam is there to obviously paralyze your opponent, and then Rock Slide could potentially flinch it if you want to go that route. Otherwise, Body Slam, Earthquake, and Rock Slide is excellent type coverage and will allow you to hit a ton of things for super effective damage, or at least neutral damage. Overall, though, this is actually just a pretty, useful physical attacking set. Most people expect Miltank to be a wall, but this actually shows you that it can be a pretty good attacker. Also, it does retain that good HP and defense, so it can still take those hits pretty well, even though not as well as like a traditional walling Miltank set. The only other attacking move you would potentially want to use would be Brick Break, or if you are wanting to go a little bit of a different way, you could use Zen Headbutt, because you cannot run any of the elemental punches on a 5th gen set, because those are 4th gen tutor moves and we're using a 5th gen Dreamworld ability, which is unfortunate, but it's kind of all you have to work with, really. So this is overall pretty good and will allow you to be a potential physical threat, as well as being able to still make use of that milk drink to recover your HP. And lastly, I have a little Pokemon here that most people have never even attempted to use before, but Shellmet is actually really freaking good. You would not expect this at all, but Shellmet is really good with the Violet because it has really good defenses, as you can see here with, kind of split defenses and HP stat, kind of similar to the Watchog set. But this works out really well because it can set up spikes more reliably than Excelgor can, and it can also make more use of Recover because it actually has defenses to make use of Recover, unlike its evolved form. It also has Shell Armor to never take a crit, which is excellent, so if you're looking for a Spikes user that you might not normally see, go with Shelmet and try it out. You might actually be surprised. Also, it has the ability to learn Body Slam to potentially paralyze your opponent, and it has Yawn or Toxic as another support move that you might want to try out with it. but overall Shellmet is actually a pretty good spiker and something you might want to try out. But that is it for this video, guys, so I hope you enjoyed my second episode of my little grab bag, and I look to be doing more of these in the future. So as always, take care and goodbye.